We had a lot of people gone for the choir retreats during second period, so I'm gonna just record this so that I can send it to them and not have to.
Is Dune good? I've heard a bunch of people.
Okay, so here's my thing with Dune. So a lot of people read Kite Runner last year who are in the just English 3, and they wanted to do a different book. So Dune. Have any of you guys read? And I've heard such good things, and everyone's been like, "It's so good."
I read the first chapter, and I was
okay.
But it's probably,
I mean, I'd be fine. We're not reading Kite Runner, but you can. Have any of you guys read The Girl on the Train?
I can assume what.
Have you seen and then there's 2 girls who wanted to read it, and seniors who have read it?
My sister read it.
Oh, your sister read it? I'll have to ask her about it because I've never read it either, and I wanted to know what it was like. So Girl on the Train and Dune is what they're gonna read. They're gonna make me read these giant books. I think that they sound fun though. Oh, girl, that's what's gonna happen because I'm also doing Romeo and Juliet. Here's the thing. I love reading, obviously, but during the school year, I get burnt out and then never read books that I actually want to read because I read all of the school books and then it's like I don't want to go home and read a book. I want to go home and veg out on TV or go outside, so.
Also, though, I will say it is kind of nice because when you are actually reading a decent book that schools make you read, that's the only time I'll probably really dive in.
Then you love it, and it's great. If you guys,
yeah, I'm glad we
yeah. If you guys made it through the Count of Monte Cristo, you are capable of anything and everything. So
I don't know if I can make
Count of Monte Cristo is actually.
really, you did? I love that.
I like Count of Monte.
Yeah. Tabitha, ready, set, go. I know you want to do it. Educated's a fun book. Good. All right, here we go. The bun's up. We're hydrated. We're doing it. We today are focusing on multiple choice questions. Woo! Yeah, the crowd goes wild. So we're gonna get tips and tricks for this. We're gonna go through this practice test together. It'll probably take last class it took the whole time. So this is kind of what we'll do today. And then for homework, you will finish this practice test. What I'd love for you to do is use your pencil to put down your first answer and then use a highlighter or whatever to get the actual answer down. The reason being is that I'm going to use this as one of the markers that it's not going to be it'll be a completion grade, but I'm going to use it as a marker for you to be able to calculate your projected AP score. So I still want your initial answer so that we can figure out that score, but then you could actually have the right answer highlighted or something. Did you have a question, Isabel, or were you just fixing? Okay. Capiche? Love it. Okay. So we're going to go into this passage and kind of look at it. I'm going to give you guys, let's see. We're going to read it and then do 3 questions together. And then you guys will work in a group to do a couple and then by yourself to do a couple. Yeah, Catherine.
Do you think this is a reliable source though, the excerpt?
How can Helen Keller?
Okay, great question. People think she's flat. There's no way she's flat. How could she?
I don't think that's crazy. She could still communicate though, so she would tell someone to then who actually wrote it down. So
What if they just lied to her?
maybe. What was? All right, will you please? I can't hear Jude.
If she narrated it to this person,
Yeah.
then they told her back what she narrated to them, but then wrote something else themselves.
who knows? Like, who knows? Who knows?
I have a question on the
All right.
definition.
Yeah, she can't see it.
Wrote none of the words, is it really fine?
Probably not. If she wrote none of them. Well, she technically said them though.
I said a lot of words.
Who knows?
I remember that.
All right. Can you please flip to the second passage? We're actually not going to do the Helen Keller one. We're going to do the 12 through 23. Okay, we're gonna actually do the George H.W. Bush one. I know you're so excited. They're right there. Yeah, here you go. Okay, really? That's so awesome. I'm so sorry. So we're gonna go into this. We're gonna have story time with Josie, and I'm gonna read it to you in my best George H.W. Bush voice, and then we're gonna do 3 of them together. So let me first give you. I want to get Olivia going on her time writing. So.
Look, like I can see a letter, but like and then
Okay, Olivia, I'm gonna give you the qualities of a distractor question, and then I'm gonna let you go do this. Sound good?
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure that you have enough time. Okay, here's the deal. When we're doing multiple choice questions, there are 2 things that we're gonna look for in these. For 12, 16, and 17, I'm gonna give you 2 options. One of them is the right answer. The other one is the lead distractor, or the question that they made in order to try and trick you. What makes a distractor, or if you have it narrowed down to 2 options and don't know what you're going to do with that, there are 2 qualities. One of them, oh, come on, pencil. Oh, jeez. Okay. One of them is that there is some correct information and some incorrect. So some correct and some incorrect information in the same answer, okay? The second quality is that it's all correct, but not in context. I'm going to put LD for lead distractor, or the thing that's trying to distract you from it. So one option is that they could have some part of it that, yes, that is correct, but not all of it's correct. One word could trip you up or something, or a phrase. And then maybe that answer is technically true, but it's not the best choice for in that context. Sound good? Okay, Olivia, here is this. Do you have a notebook? Okay, and then do you wanna, I'm gonna just give you my phone and set 55 minutes.
Just come back at 2:45.
Perfect. Do it. There you go. Enjoy. Okay. Let's go back up to this passage. Are you ready to listen to me read this to you? I know that you're so excited. The following passage is excerpt from President George H.W. Bush's State of the Union address in 1992. Is this the same one that you guys did?
No, we didn't do that.
Okay, that's good.
Multiple choice.
But it's still, but you did multiple choice. I love it. Okay. 2 years ago, I began planning cuts in military spending that reflected the changes of the new era. Really good idea for you guys to do right now is to annotate shifts that you notice, annotate for different like summaries of things or moments that are stand out to you. Things that you kind of, so annotating for those. But now, this year, with imperial communism gone, that process can be accelerated. Tonight, I can tell you of the dramatic changes in our strategic nuclear force. These are actions we are taking on our own because they are the right thing to do. After completing 20 planes for which we have begun procurement, we will shut down further production of the B-2 bombers. We will cancel the small ICBM program. We will cease production of new warheads for our sea-based ballistic missiles. We will stop all new production of the Peacekeeper missile. And we will not purchase any more advanced cruise missiles. There are those who say that now we can turn away from the world, that we have no special role, no special place. But we are the United States of America, the leader of the West that has become the leader of the world. And as long as I am president, I will continue to lead in support of freedom everywhere, not out of arrogance, not out of altruism, but for the safety and security of our children. This is a fact. Strength in the pursuit of peace is no vice. Isolationism in the pursuit of security is no virtue. And now to our troubles at home. They're not all economic, but the primary problem is our economy. There are some good signs. Inflation, that thief, is down, and interest rates are down, but unemployment is too high. Some industries are in trouble, and growth is not what it should be. Let me tell you right from the start and right from the heart. I know we're in hard times, but I know something else. This will not stand. Now, these are the things I can do. And now remember, Congress, let me tell you what you can do for your country. Please note that there's a footnote right there. That's important. You must pass the other elements of my plan to meet our economic needs. Everyone knows that the investment spurs recovery. I am proposing this evening a change in the alternative maximum tax and the creation of a new 15% investment tax allowance. This will encourage businesses to accelerate investments and bring people back to work. I'll tell you, those of you who say, oh no, someone who's comfortable may benefit from that. You know, you kind of remind me of the old definition of the Puritan, who couldn't sleep at night worrying that somehow, somewhere, someone was out having a good time. Ha, and the crowd laughs. Ha, 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 ha. The opponents of this measure and those who have altered various so-called soak the rich bills that are floating around this chamber should be reminded of something. When they aim at the big guy, they usually hit the little guy. And maybe it's time that stopped. Let's be frank. Let's be frank. Let me level with you. I know, and you know, that my plan is unveiled in a political season. I know, and you know, that everything I propose will be viewed by some in merely partisan terms. But I ask you to know what is in my heart. And my aim is to increase our nation's good. I'm doing what I think is right, and I'm proposing what I know will help. I pride myself that I'm a prudent man, and I believe that patience is a virtue. But I understand that politics is, for some, a game, and that sometimes the game is to stop all progress and then decree the lack of improvement. But let me tell you, far more improvement than my political future and far more important than yours is the well-being of our country. Members of this chamber are practical people, and I know you won't resent some practical advice. When people put their party's fortunes, whatever the side of the aisle, before the public good, they court defeat not only for their country, but for themselves. And they will certainly deserve it. Moods come and go, but greatness endures. Ours does. And maybe for a moment, it's good to remember what, in the dailiness of our lives, we forget. We are still and ever the freest nation on earth, the kindest nation on earth, the strongest nation on earth. And we have always risen to the occasion. And we are going to lift this nation out of hard times, inch by inch and day by day. And those who would stop us had better step aside, because I look at hard times and I make this vow: this will not stand. Alrighty, team. Let's look at number 12. In the first paragraph, what is the relationship between lines 1 through 7 and lines 9 through 14? Yes, Maddie.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it, this might be dumb, but is it worth it to read the entire thing during the test?
Yes. Skim it. So skim through it, and then you kind of, because they'll ask questions about the purpose as a whole. And if you haven't read the whole thing, you won't know how to like answer that. So I think reading it, but don't like spend 15 minutes on it, you know, just skim through it. Yeah, Jack.
I have another question. So three of us are gonna have to leave pretty soon. So is there an answer key that we can use?
Yes, and I have this Zoom recording going, so I will send you the link, and then I can also send you the answers.
Okay.
Cool? Yeah. Okay, 12. The answer is either A or D. Either A or D. Go ahead and try and figure out the answer with the person sitting next to you. Ready, set, go.
Is it A or D?
A or D. One of them is correct, one of them is not.
It's not B.
Yeah, it's A.
The last time I like the
Not the same with me, because she says like the last one is action. Take one, but you don't use it. Yeah, that's probably right.
It's like, yeah, so that definition
All right, what did you guys get? A or D?
A,
A is correct. All right, why is A correct?
because in D, he says, it's actions he is presently taking, but in the passage he says we will, so that's the
Good.
future.
Good. And he's also right here, the first 4 sentences aren't only this 2 years ago. That's where if you didn't read all of it, or if you just were like really fast, you'd be like, oh, 2 years ago, obviously it's all in the past, but then he goes directly into this year. This one is a question where some of it's correct and some of it is not. So, actions that took in the past and then he's presently taking, yes, he does talk about that, but not in that way. It's not always in the first 4 sentences. Cool? Okay, let's look at 16. The primary purpose of the use of lines 33 through 35, and now your country is 2. If you look at the footnotes are going to be your BFF. They're going to give you like context, and also if you don't know a word, that'll be there. If you ladies need to leave, go for it. Good luck at your game. I will send you this stuff after class. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so 1, in President John F. Kennedy's inaugural address in 1961, he famously said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." The words were intended to inspire Americans to view civic action and public service as important. Then he does this right here. And now, members of Congress, let me tell you what you can do for your country. So that's how that one connects there. 16 is either A or E. Is either A or E. One of them is distractor, where some of it's correct and some of it's not, and the other one is all correct. Go ahead and try and decipher which one is the distractor and which one is correct.
Yeah.
Or wait,
No, no, sorry.
I did not read that.
Yeah, that would be.
Now,
Maybe not, maybe just try.
Okay, maybe. I mean, he's saying they should be. Before she said that, it's just the-
I love my
All right, by including President Kennedy's words and using them a little differently in here, an allusion is a comparison. So why these two fit is because it says compare or allude. When you allude to something, you're trying to implicitly compare it to what you're saying. So does he compare President Kennedy's manner of speaking to President Bush's, or does he allude to President Kennedy's famous words? Yep, E is correct. The reason being is that this should have put a red flag in your brain. Manner of speaking, meaning the literal way you talk. He's not actually saying, I talk the same way as Kennedy. He's trying to allude to the same meaning. Yeah, Sheldon.
Why is B like not right? Because isn't he trying to like stress the importance of civic action? That's what.
Yes, but not the purpose of this allusion. So that's the meaning, that's like the message of his whole idea. But essentially, this is asking what's the primary purpose of these lines, which are an allusion.
Okay. So you have to like take it out of context and just focus on those lines.
For this one, usually you should always have it in context. I can literally read you the like explanation that they gave too. 16 says that eliminate B because President Bush is talking about steps he wants Congress to take to improve the economy, which has nothing to do with civic action. So Congress and the economy, civic action, my understanding is that civic action is more like the actual people. So American citizens. Let's see. Resources and military force, short-term projects. Yeah, it's more like what literal Americans will do, whereas his audience is technically Congress. So that's why it's a little different. Tracking? Good question. Okay, this one had something that's the same, but not all of it was true. Now number 17. Would you like me to give you the lead distractor and the answer, or do you want to try and do it by yourself? Try to do it by yourselves. All right, awesome. By comparing people who disagree with tax policy to Puritans in lines 42 through 46, I'll tell a good time. The writer implies his opponents are. All right, what did you guys pick?
C.
C is correct. Nice job. A was our lead distractor. The reason why is because the literal definition of a Puritan up here are people who are extremely religious. But in the context, he's not referring and calling his opponents religious. He's calling them rigid. So that's where that C would come into place. Yep, exactly. That strict moral view is exactly what should have triggered you to that one. All right, are you guys ready to try these other ones? Let's go back to 13, 14, and 15. You're welcome to work with someone around you. Oh, 13, 14, 15, and 18, sorry. Do the rest on this page. Try and work with someone around you and come to a conclusion of the answer with those. We'll go over them and the answer together. And then you guys will try doing the last ones by yourself. And then we'll come back and do those answers. Cool beans? All right, ready, set, go. You're welcome to move around the room if you want and kind of work with each other. Yes, go for it. It has a big hole in it if you want to use the other stool. So you don't fall through. Okay.
It's not. I think that's probably. That's what I think, but then the one thing is when it says name, I'm a little bit hesitant.
I feel like it could be A. I feel like people could argue that.
Well, I guess, but I don't think that it would be in his benefit to imply that he can't control inflation. So
I don't think he's calling it an incident.
I would have said B if it was just national, but
yeah,
I think it's probably B because that's like the only one that I
yeah,
have crossed off.
that
So
name throws me off.
I don't like it when they do that, but yeah, it's probably B.
I know, and you know that the plan is built in a political system. Oh, wait. I know you know mine.
This one is when he says, let's be frank, let's be frank.
Oh, yeah. Let's be frank.
Document said,
Yeah.
You got that wrong.
Yeah, they did get the line wrong.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's what, because I started reading 54. And I realized that that's not,
So is it just 53 and 54?
or it's 54, 55. But
No, I know, but it's,
I think
it's 53 or 54 what they mean.
I think it might be E. Sounds hard.
So when someone says, let me be level with you, I kind of think that's like being straight up, right? Like being level or something.
do you think it's,
Yeah, it might be D, it might be B.
It's not C.
the thing is, I don't know if it's going to be difficult to hear per se, but more like,
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
difficult to
yeah,
hear.
that's
I feel
fair.
like difficult to hear is kind of like C.
Yeah,
You can't really tell.
You wanna go with D again?
I'm pretty sure it's D, but
Yeah. With a political season.
it's more like it's.
Because he talks about it being a political season right afterwards.
Alright, third paragraph. Maybe it's D. Yeah, it's foreign policy, strict national thing issues.
Yeah, there's.
So what line? I feel like that one might be the strategy.
Diverting subject creates a suspense for pledge. It's not helping right now. I mean, like, this will encourage the system. Sorry. I wouldn't say that.
What do you guys think? It's not really soccer. It's not really.
Yeah, restroom. I finished. Thank you.
It doesn't. It's not refuted.
We just did do a pass word, which everyone's.
Yeah, it's there's not really attention. What do you guys think? I like that. I feel like it's foreign policy.
Yeah. But when the game is the big guy, they usually go ahead.
And now people don't have to see.
I think it's. Not really, yeah, just we ones that.
If I give you guys like 30 seconds, will you be ready to go over this like up until 18?
Yeah.
Okay, deal.
Yeah.
I think the way we're grading is right.
Yeah, exactly. It's like an opinion of like the author, unless it's literally written by the author.
That's so true. Like, that's stupid. Like, how did, like, arguably really could be either one.
Could be
But
You get some.
yeah, you could call some evidence and be
Like,
like,
I'm
this
looking at
is
19,
13.
I'm looking at 19 and these all look great. Oh no, I think that would be
Alrighty, let's go ahead and look at these first couple, and then I'll let you guys do the rest of them. Number 13, here we go. Which of the following best describes the effect of the writer's use of personification in the sentences inflation? That thief is down. Raise your hand if you got A. Go Sheldon and Isabel, strength. All right, and raise your hand if you got B. Love it. All right, raise your hand if you got C. All right, D. Interesting. And E. No one. All right, the correct answer, are you guys ready? Drum roll, please, is A. The lead distractor for this one was D. Okay.
It's main, right?
Main.
Yep, it's the word main that's gonna
what we
hit you
thought,
here.
but why would it be something you can't control?
I
Because
feel
like
like
that's
a
not
steal
something that you want to say.
Yeah, this to me is a very abstract question. That thief, technically a thief is something that's outside the law, which means it's outside the rules, which is, it means it's outside of control.
I doubt that's what Butch.
Sheldon.
I highly disagree.
Hold
Wouldn't he be implying that like the public loses money when
That is what it
there's
is
inflation?
from the public. But like, the thing I.
Sheldon, what were you thinking?
With like a thief, like you can try and like do things to protect their home from like a thief coming in, but at the end of the day, like the thief really wants to rob you, they're gonna find a way to do it, and it's like you don't have control over what they're doing, you have
Yeah.
control over what you're doing. And so by like calling it a thief, he's saying that like he can try to like do things against it, but at the end of the day, it's gonna happen one way or another.
Good.
So
And inflation technically is an effect of something. So you can try to control it, but really it's like not dependent on you. So that kind of, that's a good way to, like, if they really want to do it, they're going to do it. So that's why A is the best. I understand that the other ones seem logical.
Well, I didn't think the other ones were great, but I think A is a terrible.
This international, it's not an international concern, it's domestic. Tied to interest rates, this one's kind of tricky. This one could also be a lead distractor because the sentence right after it talks about interest rates, but that's not his purpose in this message. And then this not to be taken seriously, like that just doesn't make sense. So the word that really hits you here is main, because technically up here, he says the primary problem is our economy, and inflation technically is in the economy, but it's not what he's saying like it is. Yeah. Sheldon.
And also, even though it's like for you to argue that it would be the main concern, like it'd be illogical for him to say it's getting better and then
Right.
go on for like paragraphs about how there's still economic problems and kind of thing.
Good.
Instead,
Yeah.
He said he gave a State of the Union address about his own incompetence.
Actually,
Hello,
fellow Americans. The state of the United States of America is that I can't do my job.
I don't think he's saying he can't. You can't control a thief, is what he's saying. Yeah.
The one thing he can't control
All
is
right.
doing good, but everything else he can is doing bad.
All right, I see your point. Technically, A is the correct answer. All right. Number 14, the speaker implies which of the following in lines 54 to 55. What did you guys say? Raise your hand if you got A. Raise your hand if you got B. Raise your hand if you got C, D, and E. Okay, are you ready? This is fascinating. The correct answer is B.
Are they trying to point politicians as liars?
He's saying that he's being an honest politician, one where like he's kind of lowering the curtain a little bit and saying, look, here's what I'm saying. You guys mostly said D, which I thought is interesting. Technically, the lead distractor is E, but it's not right because it's not really difficult to hear for them. Not physically difficult to hear, emotionally.
He is like C.
They say, let's see what they say. Choice D can be eliminated because although he is alluding to the differences of difficulties of policies, these sentences don't serve as an introduction to the complications of his
So
policies.
can't you just mention the complications anyways?
Well, he talked about.
Yeah, but express is not really mentioning. It's like going into detail with that. So he's like not trying to explain the complications.
Well, he's not talking about the complications. He's just saying that most politicians, like right after he talked about how most politicians only work for their own good.
Right.
But he's like, and that's something that most politicians don't say because then they look bad.
Right. Yeah, Sheldon.
And going on, that's kind of like he's setting up like an argument where he's not actually explaining like the complications of the policies themselves, but of
Good.
how people will perceive his policies.
Good. Well stated. That perception is the one that gets you to that B. Nice job. Okay, 15. Which of the following best expresses the function of the third paragraph? Who got A? Who got B? Who got C? D? E? Correct answer is E. Nice job, guys. It discusses a topic inverse. What is inverse? Opposite. The first and second is all about international. And then third and fourth is all about domestic. He even, if you look back at the passage, look at the organization. Right now, he goes military spending. He goes into like missiles abroad, leader of the West.
How much of that stuff do we actually have to know?
I don't know, but it isn't really pertinent for that. And now to our troubles at home. Do you see how then he transitions to this? So that third paragraph transitions to home. That's where we get E. Okay, 18. In the fifth paragraph, the writer uses big guy and little guy in order to. Notice how this one has verbs all at the beginning. So that might be nice to be like, okay, is he intimidating people right now? Is he encouraging people right now? Seeing those words might be helpful to kind of take some out with that also. A.
Wait, I just have a question.
Yeah.
What does that word mean?
Assuage?
Yes.
It's Noah's on a roll today. Sausage. No. To convince them to kind of like, okay, I think I might be, I thought it was to like lean them towards something else.
I didn't know the word. Okay, move on. Wrong.
Satisfied, to make them, so like to ease their fear of something, to kind of like mollify them, to like make them feel better with it. Good question. A sausage. Gosh. Guys, today I had such a hard time we were talking about Afghanistan food because we're reading Kite Runner. I could not for the life of me spell sauce. I did like SAUSCE, like I just kept like,
That's the time that you need to go home.
oh gosh, I couldn't do it. I literally couldn't do it. And I finally look at Emma Bedsworth. I'm like, can you just help me for a second? Like, how do you spell this? So I finally got it. My brain was not working. All right. What do you guys think? Is it number or letter A? Is it B? Is it C? Oh, guys, good job. Is it D? Is it E? That's all right, Caleb. It's technically C. C is the right answer. Okay, he's talking about simplicity. B was supposed to be the lead distractor. Yeah, I don't really get that. I don't really get that one. But combative and intimidate, honestly, to me, would have been like the easy go. I feel like if you didn't understand assuage, that would have like kind of get you there. But then that better than lower class, he doesn't hit that. I love that he's like trying to get poor people to fight wealthy people. Like, that's good. And then also here, like, go ask the famous people for money. Like, go ask them for money. It'll be great. So that's, there's some good ones in there. All right. Willie, you guys go ahead and take, I'm going to give you 10, 15 minutes to go ahead and finish this up to passage 23 up. We'll go over it together, get your answers, and then we'll be good to go for the weekend.
Are we on our own or will we go?
What do you guys find is more helpful? I had the other class do it on their own. Do you want to, or do you want to work with someone else?
I like hearing how they think.
How they think. Does it help you? If it helps, you're welcome. What if you did it on your own and then talked it through with each other? Does that sound good? Do it on your own and then talk it through. I think that'll be.
Do it on my own, so that way I get it wrong and I can understand why.
There you go. It's always helpful, right? Always helpful.
So do we do the next passage or do we just finish these ones?
Just finish those ones.
I got D as well, because I think the they can see that what he says after, whereas he's like, what he says, he's not, he's trying to.
Just wondering about
D, I narrowed it down to D and D, but like,
I did D.
I did, so what the quote is. 56, so you're gonna-
Yeah, so,
yeah, I think D is
But I ask you to know what is in my heart, and my aim is to increase our nation's good. I'm doing what I think is right, and I'm proposing what I know. I feel like the first half is more emotion, and then the second half is more like actual so. Like I don't see how it can be a right or wrong answer to that. But
I feel like, I mean, I asked you to know what's in my heart. I feel like that's good enough.
to me, it seems like it's not a question.
I can, yeah, I can tell you.
well, he's like asking them to like empathize. But I don't know.
Would you guys do 21? I got
You got what?
A.
421.
Yep.
I had A and B. They're very similar.
Yeah, I had A and B. I thought about B for a bit because they said like it's A. But
I said B because in A it's about problems politicians create, whereas I thought what he said more sounded like they just thwart the progress.
Yeah, I think B makes more
they
sense.
gave us to stop all progress.
Yeah, because when it says it's like an intention.
Wait, did he say the game is to stop all progress?
Like, sometimes the game is to stop all progress and
And
then
then
try.
B like the, because they use the same word, it might not be B. Because it's not really progress.
Well, because it says the problems they create, so maybe it is A because and sometimes the game's to stop all
The thing is,
progress.
if they use the same word, that's probably the problem.
They don't. Because it says often thwarted by politicians as well. And then it says, again, that sometimes the game is to stop all progress and then to try to like.
No, I know, but they say progress in the passage, and then the first word of B is progress. I don't know, I'm gonna go with A, just because, maybe that's a terrible reason to choose that, but.
I see what you're talking about when it says like the problems they create. It just said they create hits on stopping like they are stopping all progress and then also talks about like decrying the life.
I don't know, this is, how, like, it's. luck at all. I taste,
Oh,
Do you think they sound good?
You know what, I'm just gonna go B, that's what my gut said, so I'm just sticking.
I'm just gonna circle multiple answers.
What did you get for, what did you get for? I got.
Yeah. I put
Well,
B.
yeah, let's see, 76, 78.
I got E because I was reading. Because I think when you're saying you are, and then saying like the best consultator, that's like.
Well, he said like we're the freest, strongest, kindest nation on earth. And we'll always try to be patient, but he doesn't, it is, but he doesn't really talk about like specific accomplishments, more about the global impact. So that's why I said D. Because kindness, freedom, strength.
Yes, yeah, but I feel like you can't put it, it's like you can't put
Well, I mean, like liberty, freedom, happiness, I like, or
I see, that's why I did.
life, happiness. Oh, no.
I love the scheme that crosses the board. I really don't use multiple impact as much, but when it says inspire citizens, it kind of just seems like plus one.
I got D.
I put D.
Okay, I think, I feel not
That's actually the reason I did.
super confident,
Yeah.
but whatever.
It's like a guessing game. I have to get
I
the head of the
know,
person.
you narrow them down
Yeah.
to 2, they're like so.
Yeah,
simple.
and then you're
I
like,
don't
well, it could be this one, like on so I can't tell you on how many gives me like the stuff online. Like there's
We
like
were
these
just talking
five
about
that
that
pick
too.
me either, and I don't know, and then all
Like,
five are the other one.
I like the SAT because that's so much more, because they have to make sure it's not one answer.
Yeah. I thought like the SAT section was.
For
The only
20 years.
thing that turned up for me for D is that like I get what you were saying, but how can you like say what Americans value?
Are you guys talking about?
Yeah, but they are specific values.
Yeah.
Like first I went with A because it keeps repeating on Earth, like the greatest or whatever, but
But it
then
doesn't compare
it's-
to other international.
That's why I thought maybe E because
Yeah.
if you're saying they're the best on earth, like the strongest nation on earth, what are the accomplishments that America has?
But it's not specific.
That's true.
So what did you?
It's not.
A, but Tyler put D on the green one.
I.
I can see,
No, let's know. What is it?
I can see, I'll switch it to just because like I can see it, but I just feel like if that's the right answer, that's so frustrating because
No, Andrew, don't.
Huh? You're telling me it's D?
No, I'm not telling you it's D.
Wait, which one is it?
So you're telling him not to change it to D?
Yeah, but don't change it to D either.
So is it A?
I
Was I
know.
right?
Yeah.
I
It's A.
Right?
It's A.
How is it
Yeah.
Look at
I mean, like I get it, but
Because I keep saying.
For
like,
22.
it's on Earth,
Yeah.
I keep saying that.
I misread that. Yeah, I.
wouldn't that also be?
415, that's right.
All right, here we go. Before you all start second guessing your gut.
This is painful. Like this.
This is painful. Okay, number 19. The writer includes the statement, I know partisan terms, primarily in order to. Should I just tell you the answer, or do you guys want to raise your hand? It's A.
What?
Oh, no.
Sorry, I liked having a little bit of power there.
That's not what he's saying in those lines. He said that after those lines. Yeah, I put D.
I know you know that everything.
I don't like it when because he's specifically talking about the partisan line.
Yes, partisan is literally Republican and Democrat. Like that is a split between those two.
Yeah, that's
Because he doesn't want them.
What was your other question, or what was your other answer that you had?
B.
It's the same.
I picked B.
Yeah.
This is bringing my.
Okay, I know and you know, persuade people. I think that you guys focus too much on the partisan and less on the purpose of that sentence, which is I know and you know, getting them on the same line.
So what, can I?
Yes.
Because he said, I know and you know that everything I propose will be viewed by some in merely partisan terms. That's basically the first part of his argument, saying, I know some of you guys are thinking that I'm gonna be political about this.
Mhm.
That's what he's saying, but he hasn't finished his thought, which is going to be, this is going to be for the good of the American people. So within the constraints that they gave us, he hasn't laid that out yet.
Okay, so you're arguing for which one?
D.
D.
Because in that point, he's like, I know some of you guys are thinking I'm doing this for
Like
political
overall.
reasons.
Admonish.
That
But
argument would go
overall,
for B as well.
I like that argument for D.
I like that argument, but for B instead because. Like
D
you said-
is the lead distractor.
But like, he doesn't, like, the whole tone overall is like scold or yell. It's not to make.
Do you want to know why D is not the answer? And for the most petty reason?
Yeah.
Because he's not just talking to members of Congress.
But he's literally in Congress.
Yes, but it's a State of the Union address. It's to all the people.
Because if I don't know politics on D,
I know. Welcome.
What-
Welcome.
What is
bogus?
What's wrong with B?
B?
For the record.
The use of the word partisan, which refers to the two major parties in the U.S. government, Republican and Democrat, might tempt you to choose B or C, but neither the disagreements between the parties nor the black and white nature is what the writer is getting at.
He's literally saying don't focus on the disagreements between the parties.
Yes, because
Which would be detracting them from focusing on the disagreements that have plagued parties.
are you ready? The writer states, but I ask you to know what is in my heart as a way of persuading people that his intentions are not politically motivated. It is.
So this is one of the ones you have to look at.
You have to look at the context. Yep, you have to look at the context. Yep,
Why don't they say?
good question. Yep.
It's the same. Is
To be
distracting
fair,
people from
That is not fair.
Democrats so that they trust them.
Are we allowed to hold on to these?
Yes, they are yours.
But I mean,
I'm gonna burn. Okay, 20. When the writer says, but I ask will help, lines 57 to 60, he is using which of the following approaches to persuade his audience? The answer to this one is B.
20?
Okay,
Okay.
so what did they say the difference between like emotional personal character and moral and ethical kind?
Okay, so their understanding is, here's where I'm going to say with this: moral and ethical of whom, but personal character is where he really gets it. Their reasoning here is why it's not D. D is the lead distractor. The writer does talk about what he thinks is right. So there is moral implications and ethics, but it's not the primary method he's using to win the audience. Really, he's trying to get that pathos by using these things. It's more of the smaller tool to get to this. So then they say, the writer asks his audience to know what is in his heart. They bring that line back, which essentially pulls on the audience's emotions as a way to persuade them of his benevolent personal character and his ideas for how the nation should move forward. Sheldon, do you have a question?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like, I don't know, when I was thinking of it, I thought, like, I was debating between like B and D, but I crossed off because I thought like it didn't really have to do with his emotion as much, more so just like his personal character.
Yeah, like knowing who he is, just hard, like know his.
Yeah.
Well,
Here, it's more the emotion of the audience and his personal character, but then the moral and ethical claims, he's using these in order to get the emotion out of his audience.
For me, that was just too broad to say.
Yeah, I think that's the broadness of it.
Like
Is what it
ethics
is,
is the study of good and evil, which is basically moral. So
Yeah, and I don't-
Yeah, So really, that personal character should have like hit you to that one too, if you didn't get the emotion.
These are like literally a 50% chance every single time.
But do you see how at least it's 50% chance and not whatever percent? I don't know, like
Probably
20% if
If
you
I
had all
put
of those.
D for every single one, I would probably get a better score.
Don't be
Genuinely
silly.
thinking about it.
All right, 21. The primary purpose of the statement, but I of improvement, is to relate to the audience by expressing a commonly held idea that. Okay, it is A.
Okay, it makes sense. I changed it and then I changed it back.
I changed it 4 times.
They're
Yeah.
creating the problem that they're complaining about, right?
So like, why is it
Yeah.
not B? Is it because of ill will or why?
Because it doesn't talk about the more related. Just I think A is just overall, it encompasses more of the line.
Yeah, the ill will is what gets B off. Yeah. Because they prefer their agendas to the opposite side. Isn't that they're trying to? Yeah, Sheldon.
But like, wasn't there ill will that it's like they're turning it into a game, they're not like treating it as it's supposed to be?
But they're not trying to stop it just to stop it. They're trying to stop it because they don't like the other side. Thanks.
Yeah, so that's why I want to take
That's okay. So that's why it really, like, they need, but they don't talk about compromise in here. So really it's all about, like, they're just creating what they're complaining about. Hits on that irony a little bit. Okay, on Earth, I hit this one already. It's A. because it goes to on Earth over and over, talking about that international thing. I think,
Why would it be?
okay, because of the word accomplishments. Nowhere does it talk about what specific accomplishments they have worldwide, just that they're a part of the world.
Okay.
Yeah, good question. And then the last one is the writer primarily develops passages by utilizing. This one is D.
That one actually makes sense.
Yeah, his intentions, and even you could use like, he's all about his personal character. So then he needs that intentions that he has behind it. I think E was the lead distractor here. Does anyone need an explanation for 23? You feel okay? Okay. You guys did a really nice job, actually. Yeah, Sheldon.
So it's just a question, like as a whole, like
Yeah.
there was one on this page where like it asked about certain lines, but like you had to like look at it in the context of like, the whole passage. But there was
Yeah.
one on the last page where like you looked at it in the context of the whole passage when it talked about individual lines, you like get it wrong. So like how do you tell the difference of like when they want you to look at the entire passage and then
Always consider the entire passage, I would say. Like, think about the purpose of that paragraph that the lines are in, and then how the lines get to that. Because you have to look at how the lines are acting in the whole in order to see their purpose. Does that make sense? So consider context, but then are you talking about also like here on Earth, that international standing?
no, I was on that one.
Okay, so I say look and see like think about the purpose of the passage, but also the paragraph, and then say how are the lines fitting with those. Is that helpful a little bit? It honestly, Sheldon, I don't have a beautiful answer for you for that, because I think it's going to depend on the question and the passage, like where the lines are in it and like that kind of stuff. So you just got to kind of use some discernment with it, which I'm sure is not the answer you want to hear, but it's like kind of the wording of it's hard to get. It is, I think the multiple choice are hard like to do, but they are. Yeah, sometimes you got to just go with your gut with it. Yeah, Isabel. Yeah, you can always just go if you need to. Okay, we have 10 minutes left. I feel like our brains are shot. Are you guys there? Okay.
Have fun, dude.
Have fun, Jude. Your guys' homework is to complete the rest of this practice test for Monday. We're gonna go and have